Good day to Todorisma. Today we will be presenting our assignment on the topic Charting a Greener Future and Evaluation of Malaysia's Tech Incentive for Achieving Net Zero Greenhouse Gases Emission. I'm the group leader, Jocelyn Tai. Continue with my team members, Alvin, Junho, Kashrini, and Lina. Now I will pass the floor to Lina to start presenting.
Thank you, Jocelyn. My name is Lina. I will first brief about green economy. So what is green economy? It means using less carbon, saving natural resources, and including everyone in growth, focusing on reducing pollution, using renewable energy, and protecting the environment. Why net zero is very important? Because it helps to balance the amount of greenhouse gases we put into the air with the amount we remove, slow down climate change like stopping the rise of sea levels and extreme weather. Malaysia has made big promises to fight climate change, such as joining the Paris Agreement and plans to reduce greenhouse gases by 45% by 2030 compared to 2005. The government's 12th Malaysia Plan focuses on protecting the environment and preparing for climate change. Also, the NEGR encourages using renewable energy and saving energy. Budget 2025 prioritizes green initiative. It allocates funds to support renewable energy, boost energy efficiency, and drive carbon reduction projects. These investments create green jobs and foster the growth of an eco-friendly industry. One of the key tools the government uses to support this transaction is tax incentive. This incentive help lower the cost for businesses to use green technology. Examples include tax breaks and credits that encourage more companies to move toward sustainable practices. MIDA plays an important role in administrating this green tax incentive. Two key programs under MIDA are the GITA and GITE, supporting both the purchase of green technology and the provision of green services. As a result, many companies in Malaysia are now use this incentive to invest in clean technology, reduce emissions, and align their operations with global sustainability standards.
Hi, my name is Alvin and I will be presenting the literature review on net zero greenhouse gas emission in Malaysia. Malaysia aims to achieve net zero emission by 2050 with a 45% reduction in emission intensity by 2030. However, fossil fuels still accounted for 93% of the energy mix in 2018. To address this, Malaysia launched policies such as the 12th Malaysia Plan, the Carbon Free Energy Roadmap, and the National Energy Transition Roadmap (NETR). NETR focused on 6 key areas and 50 initiatives to increase renewable energy to 70% and reduce emission by 32% by 2050. The government supports this with tax incentives like GITA and GITE, carbon pricing, and energy efficiency regulations. Next, a carbon tax is a government fee on greenhouse gas emission from burning fossil fuels, charged per ton of CO2. It aims to reflect carbon's environmental costs and encourage clean energy, while generating revenue to offset fuel costs. Globally, 37 countries have carbon pricing. Malaysia's budget 2025 plans to introduce a carbon tax by 2026 for the energy and steel sectors, plus CCUS tax exemption and RM300 million for the National Energy Transition Facilitation Fund. Additionally, Malaysia aims for net zero greenhouse gas emission by 2050 and offers tax incentive to support this. The Green Investment Tax Allowance GITA provide a 100% allowance for capital spent on green projects like renewable energy and waste management. The Green Income Tax Exemption GITA offers a 70% tax exemption on income from services such as EV-related and energy efficient solutions, valid until December 2025. Other incentives like investment tax allowance and pioneer status support recycling, biomass, and low carbon R&D. Together, this encourages green technology adoption and strengthen the green economy. Next, several countries have led carbon pricing efforts to cut emissions. Sweden's carbon tax since 1991 reduced transport CO2 by 11%. British Columbia's 2008 carbon tax cut fossil fuel use per person by 17.4% without harming the economy. The EU's emission trading system, started in 2005, effectively lowered emission across member states. China's 2013 regional carbon trading mainly cut emissions by reducing production. Japan and South Korea have balanced emissions reduction with economic growth. Europe and the US continue to influence global carbon pricing strategy as efforts accelerate. Furthermore, Malaysia has introduced tax incentives and subsidies to promote green practices, but achieving net zero remains challenging. Many businesses, especially SME, lack awareness and understanding of this program, limiting participation. Complex application processes and limited government support hinder uptake. Strict regulation and weak enforcement increase costs and delays, reducing effectiveness. Additionally, reliance on fossil fuels and slow green technology development obstruct progress toward net zero. That's all from my presentation.
This study seeks to assess how Malaysia's tax incentive contribute to achieving net zero greenhouse gases emission. To accomplish this, secondary research was used as the main research approach. Data was gathered from multiple sources, including academic journals, books, corporate website, industry report, news article, and official organizations such as government agency, ministry, statistical department, and local authorities, to ensure the information is both reliable and comprehensive.
Thank you, Jocelyn. Now I'll be talking about adoption of tax incentive to achieve net zero GHG emissions. The purpose of introducing green tax incentive is to achieve Malaysia's net zero target by 2050. There are 4 key tax incentives, which are GITA, GITE, ITA, and PS. Let's start with GITA, which stands for Green Investment Tax Allowance. It was introduced in 2014 and extended in 2020. It encourages companies to invest in eco-friendly technologies and assets. GITA has two types: GITA assets for purchasing green equipment for own use, and GITA projects for companies carrying out green tech projects. To qualify, a company must be registered in Malaysia and use new approved green assets listed in MyHijau directory. The assets must be used for business purposes. For projects, the company must apply before incurring expense and meet environmental goals like reducing emissions and conserving energy. Group companies must meet stricter separation requirements. GITA also allows 100% deduction on qualifying capital expenditure. It can offset 70% of the statutory income, and any unused amount can be carried forward. Now moving to GITE, the Green Income Tax Exemption. It was introduced in Budget 2028 to support providers of green technology services. To qualify, companies must be in the MyHijau directory, have skilled green tech staff, and follow proper policies and SOPs to ensure service quality. The GITE supports services such as solar system, energy audits, EV charging, green building design, and more. These services help other industry lower emissions. Not only provides tax relief, but also helps green businesses to grow, hire more people, and promote clean energy adoption across sectors. GITE builds a cycle of innovation, raises service quality, and helps more businesses shift to low carbon operations, moving Malaysia closer to its net zero target. Now I pass to Lina.
ITA, which is a key tax incentive supporting Malaysia's green technology goals, it is designed to encourage capital-intensive green investment, helping Malaysia move toward a low-carbon and sustainable economy. Under the Green Initiative, it is renamed as GITA. This allowance covers a wide range of green sectors, including renewable energy system, energy-efficient technologies, waste management, and green buildings. In terms of tax benefits, companies can claim 60% of their KPE over 5 years. This allowance can be used to offset up to 70% of their statutory income in a year, and any unused amount can be carried forward to future years. This significantly reduces the company's taxable income and improve cash flow, allowing more reinvestment into green projects overall. This ITA supports Malaysia's national target of reaching net zero greenhouse gases emission by 2050 and helps attract both local and foreign investment in green technology.
Hello everyone, my name is Kashini Keswin. Today, I will explain about the Pioneer Status. Pioneer Status or PS is a tax incentive that supports green projects in Malaysia. It offers a 70% of tax exemption for first 5 years, starting from the company's first commercial production. This is ideal for green business like those in renewable energy and energy efficient manufacturing that generates early profits. To apply, companies must be incorporated in Malaysia and get approval from MIDA before starting operations. PS also helps to reduce early tax burdens, making it easier for green projects and to grow and support Malaysia's goal of net zero emission by 2050.
Today, I will briefly compare the green tax incentive and their effectiveness with the United States of America, European country, and Malaysia. Starting with the United States of America, the government used Cap and Trade program, which limits carbon emission through a market-based approach, and tax credits such as the Investment Tax Credit (ITC) for renewable energy installation, energy storage technology, and fuel cell. Also, the Production Tax Credit (PTC) for renewable electricity generation, biomass, hydroelectric, marine, and hydrokinetic. Then, in Europe, countries have implemented carbon taxes on fossil fuel to discourage their use, and reduced VAT rates are applied to green products to encourage consumer adoption of environmentally friendly goods. These measures have helped accelerate the shift towards cleaner energy and sustainable consumption across the region. Next, Malaysia has introduced multiple incentives focused on green technology, such as the Green Investment Tax Allowance (GITA), Green Income Tax Exemption (GITE), Investment Tax Allowance (ITA), specifically for green technology, and Pioneer Status for green projects. These incentives aim to boost the investment in sustainability technology and projects and have been discussed further in previous slide. Regarding the effectiveness of this incentive, the USA has seen a significant reduction in greenhouse gases emission, with emission from regulated sources decreasing from approximately 365 million metric tons of carbon dioxide equivalent in 2013 to about 318 million metric tons in 2021. Furthermore, in Europe, electric vehicle sales in Europe increases substantially from less than 1% market share in 2015 to over 15% in 2023. Sweden, for example, has successfully reduced its carbon emission by approximately 27% compared to 1990 levels, showing effective progress. Lastly, in Malaysia, the installed solar photovoltaic capacity has grown from approximately 311 megawatts in 2018 to over 700 megawatts by 2023. This growth indicates Malaysia's gradual transition towards renewable energy supported by its tax incentive. In conclusion, while all three regions use different tax strategies, each has made notable progress in promoting green technology and reducing greenhouse gases emission.
Now, I'll explain about the challenges in achieving net zero greenhouse gas emission. The picture shows the challenges we are facing. I will explain the key challenges Malaysia is facing. Despite from strong national commitments, a major barrier lies in the lack of public awareness and understanding, especially among construction workers and project stakeholders, about green buildings and net zero technologies. Many still don't know what green buildings are or how they contribute to emission reduction. Another key issue is shortage of skilled professional and technical expertise needed to plan, construct, and manage green buildings. This made it worse by a high cost of eco-friendly technologies, which discouraged developers due to concern over profitability and delayed returns. Finally, weak enforcement and unclear policies also hinder progress. Without strong government coordination and clearer guidelines, it's difficult to move the industry towards net zero goals.
In conclusion, Malaysia's tax incentives such as GITA, GITE, ITA, and PS play an important role in helping Malaysia to achieve net zero greenhouse gases emission by 2050. This incentive help reduce costs for businesses investing in green technology and renewable energy projects. However, challenges still remain. If compared to US and Europe, Malaysia needs stronger policies like check and track and carbon taxes. Malaysia needs to improve laws and enforcement, increase public and business awareness, and enhance support for green investment. That's all for our group's presentation. Thank you.